Welcome back, everybody, to Out at Reese's podcast. I'm your host, Reese Shalvis, and once again, joining me on the podcast, we got KingEZ from the group duo Votu. How you
What's
doing,
up?
man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Dude, I'm doing pretty good. It's been a minute since we've actually talked. I think it was back at the Storm Tour event.
Yeah, it was like around November. It was a while ago.
Yeah, that was it's like 4 months ago already. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's when I turned 23 in November, so it's like, dang, time is
Oh,
just
really?
yeah, time's just flying, bro.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So what you been up to since then?
um, I've been working on the album, the 801 Club album,
Hmm.
where really so almost everybody, like I think 15 to 16 artists that were actually at that tour, the Storm tour, joined up on that album and joined up in that group to make songs with each other, and then we all put it on the album. We ended up doing like a 20 song album, and we had that
Oh dang.
released by like at the beginning of this month. Actually, we had it released on all platforms and everything.
So is the 801 album, the 801 Club, is the 801 Club just an album, or is that an actual like music group that you guys are started like have created? And
um I was actually hoping for it to be a music group, but as of right now, I think everybody's just doing like their own thing. We're
yeah.
gonna actually have a release party where we all link up and perform that album. We're having it on like this Saturday, like on the 18th.
Oh shit,
But
that's sick.
yeah, we're having it like this Saturday. But so really, it was just a huge plan just to have an album. We're actually doing another album called 801 Club Under Fire, where my friend Corbin, the cameraman, he actually did the cover and stuff. So he actually made that album. Like he made the idea. So we're just gonna do like a little EP for it.
That's sick. So what's inspiring this album?
Actually, I think really what inspired it was the tour is what really inspired it. Actually, like meeting everybody, meeting you, everybody else that was like there, like coming up to me, just talking and stuff. I just thought like maybe I really want to do like something for like the 801, something for Salt Lake City, like
Yeah.
a huge album is what I want to do. And I actually looked it up. Nobody, it's weird because nobody ever used the name 801 in their titles at all. So it's weird. I'm
Right.
like nobody's really taken it. So I made a little unique. So I did an eight. Like so, what I did for the cover is I did it as if somebody cut out a magazine, right? Somebody cut out a magazine and glued it on the cover. So what I did is I turned the O and put like you turn into an actual O instead of the zero
Yeah.
and put a dash into it, and so like nobody can actually like take it. So it's actually 801 Club instead of
Yeah, that
801.
that that's freaking sick. I like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so cool because what I've been hearing the whole community is referred to as is the 801 Underground, and so
yeah,
having an actual group starting to come out as the 801 Club. I don't know. That's not. It's just like has a really nice ring to it, and it's super
yeah.
sick.
That's when I heard it. When I actually made like the name, the very first made the name and made the album. I was thinking, nah, this has to be taken up already. Like the 801 something has to be taken up already. But I looked up on the SoundCloud, Apple Music. I did my research, and nobody took 801 Club, and I was so thankful that it just I took it. It's mine.
Right, and specifically with the number 801, like you could do any other area code like 765 or whatever, right? Some random other place.
Yeah,
There's something about 801 specifically that has just such a cool like sound to it, like 801.
exactly.
And
Like we all so sorry to cut you off, but
no,
like
you're good.
for like the songs, we all did like this thing where everybody said we did it for the 801, for the 801, we're opening up for the 801. So we actually made it sound like it was like a legit thing, and like it's just crazy. I just think like it took like 3 months since the tour. I planned it out, so it took about 3 to 4 months to actually get this released and stuff. So
Dang, that's crazy. It really shows you just how much really goes into planning these things, and for it to be high quality and good, you can't just do that shit overnight.
exactly, it took a minute, and I'm glad we got it done. I was actually kind of scared that we're gonna get like not a lot of songs, but we stretched it out to like 20, 22 actually. It was the original on SoundCloud, but on all platforms we had like some troubles with some beats because we used an instrumental like as a
Hmm.
remix, so we couldn't post it on Spotify or anything. We just kept it on SoundCloud.
Okay, okay. And so you mentioned that you're doing a 801 Club's tour.
We're actually doing a release party. It's gonna be actually a release party and a birthday party for the homeowner. So it's gonna be kind of like a old school a house performance where like everybody's at the
Oh
house.
shit!
Everybody, yeah, I
There
got
you
the
go.
mics ready and everything. Everybody, pretty much everybody, including more people who are at like the Slump Fest. Like there was a Slump Fest that I was a part of. I feel like a lot of people are going to be performing at this house party, and then they're going to bring a lot of heads in, and then we're just going to start off with the album first, and then I'm going to have like individual artists that wanted to perform. It's all free. Like anybody can just come through. It's all free. Nobody's getting charged. It's just a birthday party, really. That's
Just
what
a
I call it, a
party
birthday
to
party.
celebrate the release of this album, and dude, that
Yeah,
that's like that sounds like it's gonna be sick.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'll send you videos.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. That'll be sick. I'll have to definitely check those out.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start off by asking you, man. So I see here you put that you mentioned that you do different genres, like some including like rap, metal, rock. Like, tell me about those other genres besides like hip hop and rap. Like, what? How, yeah, just tell me about them, cause
So I mean, I'm trying to think about it. So not to get like uncomfortable, but like when somebody sees a black artist, right? They're gonna say immediately they're gonna point them out as a rapper. I feel like X Josh said he talked about this a lot. He didn't want that to like stay with him. Like he was just a rapper. He was just SoundCloud rapper. He wanted to be an artist, like a full on artist. He did rock. He did singing. He did all he could. He expanded his art. And
yeah.
I actually found a leaked beat where he was doing some techno type of stuff. So he was making some real stuff before he passed on. So really, the reason why I want to expand my genres is because I don't really want to stick out as a hip hop artist because that does get boring. It does really get boring for other people, and I feel like people will lose interest. So if I make
It can get
stuff
kind of
different,
stagnant because there's just so many people that say, "Oh, I'm a hip hop artist," you know?
yeah, they want to be a hip hop artist specifically. Nobody wants to be a singer. Nobody wants to play the guitar. Nobody wants to do any other stuff. But me, I want to make beats. I want to do. So I have like my own drum set that I haven't played in a minute, but I like have my own beat making and stuff. I upgrading this stuff. I don't even want to be just an artist. I want to create a company where like I can do videos that are like short films or movies. I want to create something bigger than just being an artist.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. It definitely helped. It's definitely a lot better to expand your genres because it opens up the world more to what you can actually do and create and I feel like I've seen that a lot here in Salt Lake is with a lot of artists they're not necessarily identifying themselves as hip hop artists or rap artists. I mean, they do that for sure, but they also are just like, "Yo, I'm an artist. I'm doing music. You know, I'm doing different things."
Exactly. And like with that, I just feel like people. I feel like so they just say that I'm just an artist. So they say I'm an artist, right? But then they don't really know what they want to make. So what I was saying was people to kind of cut it short, people don't know what they want to do with their sound. They kind of want to like copy it, and I understand that completely. Like you started rapping, you want to copy sound. I get it, but like I at the beginning of this year, I kind of took stuff like that more serious, where like I want to make my own sound or something like
Mhm.
that. Like I want to make my own sound or not be so much as like a
Right.
copycat. Like I want to change. So when you ask anybody else, like someone new that doesn't really know what they want to do with their sound, they're just gonna really give you that answer like I'm just an artist. Like they're just gonna say I'm just
Right.
an artist.
Right.
But it's fair. It's fair.
So what about your sound? Do you feel like you're starting to kind of bring something unique or something new to the scene?
Like what do you mean? Like be more
Like
specific about the
what
question.
do you feel is kind of different about your music from the rest
Oh,
of
okay.
the copycats, you could say?
Um. So like for example, what's popular now, like in the sound, like when the music industry is popular now, is kind of like drill or like stuff like that, drill or like they use samples, like a 2010 sample, they'll get a sample, put that in a drill beat. That's kind of what's popular. I don't really like to do popular type of sounds like to like fit in with the newer sounds. I would kind of like to either bring old school back or like again stuff with the guitar. I won't even do hip hop most of the time. I'll do like metal or like just singing. I've done so many singing songs that I love more than hip hop really.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I'm trying to think more about it.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that a lot though. the way you can, if you can incorporate different genres, you're already
Yeah,
off
just
to a.
different genres, so you're not matching so much with like the newer sounds that are coming out now. It doesn't, people, because I guess people kind of say this artist sounds a little similar to this artist, trying to again copy, but it's just kind of like just trying to fit into with the new sound. So
Right.
I really don't like fucking with like the new sound. I just like to jump sounds to sounds, genre to genre,
Yeah.
figure it out kind of. And
That
at some point, I actually do like expand and like come up with it. Like not come up with a new sound, but in my way, like I've never done this sound before. So in my eyes, I come up with a new sound.
hmm
I do a new sound that I've never done before in my life.
or
It's
or
cool.
even
It's fun.
or even a sound you've heard before, right? Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
yeah. And would you say that have branching into the other genres definitely inspires the new sounds because you can almost mix and mash
mm.
different inspirations from different genres that you do get.
Yeah. It's just like say like I jump from hip hop. I've done it before. I jump from hip hop to singing. It just gives me like this feeling that I want to do something like that again. I feel like I made something like so. I'd like to put it this way: if something sounds good to you, man, it's perfect for everybody else. Like other people are gonna love it if it sounds good to you. But with like moving my sound, I felt like I wanted to do more, like move my sound again. Like I just jumped to a different sound, but I want to do it again. Like so, I did singing. I wanted to do rock music, and then when
Right.
I do rock music, I'll do like some techno stuff, or like I'll do some beats or like something like that, or DJing. I just got a turntable where I can like mix some stuff. I wanted to do DJing for a long time as well. Like I feel like saying being an artist is like a little too little for me. Like I just love music
Yeah.
in general. Just love
Yeah.
music.
That makes
Like
sense.
I can do anything with music, really.
Right. And so that makes me ask. So this kind of branches off topic a little bit, but kind of staying within the same realm. But so you were mentioning how you also wanted to be, or you are trying to be a movie director, short film. You're working on some short films and stuff.
Yeah.
So in kind of the grand scheme of things with your own career, where would you like with your movies, which we'll kind of go into here in a little bit, but with your movies and your music, kind of where do you see yourself in the future, just with everything?
All right. See myself. So really, so I put it like this. So I kind of take your question and like turn it around. But Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, any like really some like lower artists that really you wouldn't even imagine to make music actually produce some of like the most overwatched and successful movies ever. I actually looked into Jonah Hill, like you know Jonah Hill from 21 Jump Street, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I looked into Jonah Hill. I found out that he actually directed the mid '90s movie. It's a skating movie, amazing skating movie that everybody loves. It's a cool skating movie. He directed that movie, and it's just someone that you don't really expect to make a movie like that or make a movie that touches you so much. Like it's kind of like just like wow, people never expect Jonah Hill to make a movie like that or Ice Cube. I bet they didn't expect Ice Cube to make Friday like that, the way it is, and have it still watch for 20 years.
Mhm.
20 years later, to still watch over and over and over again. That's something that I kind of really want. So I just see myself looking like that. Like he just started from rapping, no one took him seriously, but he grew.
Right.
That's
Yeah. Oh,
kind of how
yeah.
I see
And
myself later in 20 years.
so at that point you wouldn't really consider yourself a necessarily full-time music artist. You're just like a producer of really everything,
Mm-hmm.
music, movies, music videos, just kind of anything along.
Just I don't know how to say like I would say content creator, but content creator is just like when you I feel like you just make YouTube videos and stuff like
Like
that. So
YouTube and TikTok and
yeah,
different stuff like that. I, I
so
mean, I,
content creator.
I mean, content creator
Sorry.
works. It does that
Yeah, it
it
does.
definitely works. It's more the stereotype behind that term, right? Is oh,
Mm-hmm.
you're a YouTuber, you're a TikToker, which
Yeah, that's pretty much what gets me. So like I would because I've already posted a short film on YouTube before, but like that's kind of like kind of like a testing. It wasn't like my very first short film I've ever made, but like if I were to continue to post it on like my short films, which I'm not might not have a choice, I might have to do that. I continue to post my short films on YouTube. It's just gonna be as like a oh, he's just a YouTuber. He switched from music to YouTube. That's not what I really want. I want to be a producer of like really any kind. Like I
right.
made music videos. That's what VOTU pretty much is. Is like VOTU Vengeance of the Unholy Productions is where anybody who like can like really create any content, who wants to be an actor, who wants to be like just a DJ, who wants to make music, who wants to do this, who wants to do that. That's what VOTU is really all about. It's not just about making music. That's not what I wanted it to be. I wanted to say, oh, VOTU made this movie. VOTU made directed this music video. VOTU did this. Like I want it to be way bigger. So like it's not just music for me, to be honest with you. It may seem like that for other people, and I do respect it. But for me, I just feel like it's way bigger.
Right, yeah, and I actually feel you there 100% because, well, right now I'm doing the podcast primarily, right? I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be that. Eventually in the future, everything I have planned, I don't want to be that guy that oh, he's the podcaster who now does this. It's like I want to do everything. I want to be the guy known for
Exactly.
doing
Exactly.
everything, and so I can definitely relate with you on that. So tell me about some of your short films that you've either done or are working on, and that you care to share. That sounds pretty sick.
So from like the way I actually started from short films is so I originally wanted to join this agency. I don't really want to throw the name out there. It's just a short story. So I joined an agency. Cost like I would say two grand. It cost a lot, but I'm working into really wanting to work into acting so I can
Hmm.
do stuff like that. So in my beginning of my music videos, I would do like some sort of skit that's just funny, like a mess around skit. Or at the end of a music video, I do a mess around skit. And my last music video, 84501, I actually did a skit referring to my dropout or me getting suspended from school.
Yeah.
Is referring to that. So after I made that, me and my friend looked at each other and was like, "That's actually pretty good." And my friend, he didn't even want to be a music like I said, he didn't want to be a music video creator. He didn't want just it. He wanted to be a director. He wanted to film movies. We were actually
Right.
working on we were working on a it short film that we were like when we were like I don't know 13. We were working on that. Like we were wanting to do this for a while. So the very first short film that I was talking about, we made that same day, and I did my best to try to change my clothes, everything, so it looks different.
Right.
So it's called The Box, right? So it's where this kid, so it's like around it was around Christmas. This kid was like scrolling through TikTok. He was eating. I'm the actor. He was eating. He gets a knock on the door, and it's just a box sitting there. It's a scary movie. That's what I wanted to be. It's kind
Okay.
of a scary movie. Get you hyped up a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's a box. He sits it down on the desk or on the table, and then next thing you know, he gets a message saying, "Open the box." What I did is I grabbed my producer or my cameraman's phone, right? I typed in a random number, blah blah blah, 435. That's an area code for Utah. 650 random number, blah blah blah,
Right.
and then it says don't open the blocks, blah blah blah. I'm looking at it, doing my thing, and then next thing you know, you hear a crash in the background. I look over to what is a room, like a hallway, and at the end of the hallway is like a room that my parents stay in. So I'm all approaching up to the room, and then the music builds up, and my cameraman did amazing. Like you can tell he was actually waiting to do something like this. Like he did amazing from what I actually thought he was gonna do. So I'm walking up slowly, and the next thing you know, I turn a light, I get pushed back, and then I get dragged. Like I'm get dragged out of the camera angle, and I'm all screaming. Like it looks legit. And I've had people say, "Yo, I like that. I like that. I like that story. You should do another one." So that leads into the box. I put in part one. So like it was originally just a box of mesh thing until people started liking it, right? And then I switched it on YouTube. You can edit. I switched it to part one, the box. And then I'm trying to think. I think it was around. I think it was around December. I was leaving a Christmas party from Salt Lake because my aunt and stuff, they all
Hmm.
I have family who lives in Salt Lake. So I was leaving from Salt Lake. I was really bored. I always get bored. It's like an hour drive from Salt Lake to Price. So like I get really bored. Or like not even an hour, it's probably like two, like getting like traffic and stuff, 2.5. It's really long.
Yeah.
So so to be honest, when I'm really bored and I like think of like my own scenarios in my head, like the scenarios that either happened to me or like I think that could happen to me, I put that in my head and like I imagine that as dramatic as possible just for a movie. If that
Right.
makes sense. Like I feel like everybody will say this. I feel like I am honestly a main character, and you're a main character of your own movie. I'm a main character. We're all main characters of our own movie, so we pretty much act like it. Say like your girlfriend breaks up with you, blah blah blah. You get in a whole that's a whole situation. I take that situation, put that scenario in my head, and I make it like way more dramatic so it can fit with the movie. So that's what
Right.
I do. I tend to overthink a lot. Pretty much is what I'm gonna say. I tend to overthink a lot, and then I say, "Wow, somebody can honestly relate to this. Really, somebody can honestly relate to this." So what I did for part two, I don't really want to release like leak too much of what it is because it's just a part two of it. But I did a whole script, my very first script writing, my whole script, and I feel like honestly people will actually like this one. Like it's
You
just
think so?
so people. So I get dragged out. I get dragged out of the frame. Right, it says the end. I didn't say it says the end. So dragged out of frame. That's the end of the skit. So I'm just gonna like give you a little bit of context. So
Okay.
the person that got dragged out of the frame is at the basement. My basement is pretty scary, so I want to use my basement
Yeah.
as like a
Is it
horror
was
thing.
it
So
was it like an unfinished basement or something?
it's kind of so it kind of looks like it,
Yeah.
but we're like in the making of finishing it, but like it's still like livable. But
Yeah.
like the part where where like it's a setting, like the one specific room, like there's one specific room that is not all the way finished. It looks pretty scary. Like people are kind of scared looking at it at night.
Yeah.
It's like this big room. Like my house is pretty small. Like my room right now is small as hell. And then my brother's room is pretty small, but it's just this big room. There's this table with tools on it, and then there's like a freezer in the side. Like it looks pretty sketchy. So it's just gonna start off with. So I mentioned that it was Christmas, right? So it was Christmas. That's why the box was like honestly the idea is like a Christmas box, Christmas present, blah blah blah. So what I wanted to start off with is I wanted to take my Christmas tree out because I put it up already. So
Yeah.
take my Christmas tree out, kind of lay it on the floor, make it look like it was a home invasion, like somebody was here, blah blah blah, make it look like something happened. So lay my Christmas tree out, it's all plugged in, the lights and stuff, and then it's like zooming out, and then all you can hear is help me, like help me screaming, help me in the background. And that's gonna be coming from the basement. So it's gonna be like a title sequence, and then it's gonna take a time to go to the basement, right? And then really, that's really all I'm gonna give you. But what the person that got dragged away from frame is really trying to do is trying to figure out what is going on because he wanted to open the box at one point, but he couldn't because he got dragged out of frame. So the person that texted him to open the box, but he never opened the box, texted him. He's in the house already trying to do some weird stuff to the guy.
Right.
So next thing you know, the kid ends up escaping somehow. He ends up escaping, but he ends up passing out. Like he's all out of breath. He ends up passing out like from all stress.
Mhm.
He ends up passing out. And the next thing you know, it switches up to him being in like a hospital and saying something saying like he needs to take his pills, and that's what was in the box originally was his pills or something like that. But it's kind of still in the making. But I I left out a lot of stuff on purpose because it's gonna be another reason why I like acting is because you get to do so much unnecessary shit. Like
Right.
say like I watch Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah.
I watched the part
Great show, by
where
the way.
yes, I love that show. I started watching it this like 2 weeks ago. I started watching it. The part where Aaron Paul is trying to sneak in to get his RV, and then he's just able just to fall into the porta potty, and like he's all
Yeah.
covered in
Yeah.
sludge. It's just like I feel like it doesn't look too fun because it's acting, but I just feel like it would be honestly fun just to fuck around and do that type of shit just for fun, like
Right.
just for acting. And that's why I kind of like acting because it gives out emotion, and then really it will touch the people who are watching it. Like with Breaking
Yeah.
Bad, it is a pretty good show, but the drama and that's why people will like relate to the drama. Is what I like to say. People will relate to drama, blah blah blah. It happens to everybody, so that's why I really want to make content like that or short film is for the drama or for like scary, just to get somebody's heart pumping.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's really cool. Well, let me ask you this real quick. So you said part one is still out there, right? Still
Yeah,
public. Dude, you have to
yeah.
send me that. I definitely want to actually check that out. That sounds pretty sick.
All right, yeah, I'll send
So
it to you. It was made the same day, made and posted the same day as I posted the music video. So, the music video beginning, I wanted to explain this short film because it is a real life thing that happened to me. So, what that is based off of is so I'm walking down the stairs. I'll probably send you the music video or send you the short film of the music video. Walking down the stairs. So what originally happened was back at the beginning of this school year, I'm a junior, right? So beginning of this school year, I had this teacher named Taylor Brower. I don't care because he came to honestly stalk on my pages, and it's kind of weird. This town is kind of like a little bit weird, not normal from Salt Lake City or anything like that. That's kind of why I'm eager to leave.
Right.
I'm like really wanting to leave. But so what really happened was at the beginning of the school year, I think it's the end of the first semester. I have this teacher, this history teacher, who everybody kind of likes just because he messes around with people, but I didn't really know him that well for him to say what he said about me. So what he said was, you guys might want to stay in class, not ditch my class, or else you're gonna end up making music, trying to make music. And I instantly knew he was taking shots at me and my friend Liam because we're the only kids that actually made music at the time when he said it.
Right.
So, or in the town, not like in the in the town because it's so small. Nobody wanted to try making music or anything like that. So we were always made fun of for even trying. But who cares? Like we were always made fun of, blah 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 blah, whatever. So when he said that, he never said it when I was in his class or when I attended. So he pretty much was trying to duck saying it in front of me. So he said it in front of his other class, but I had his class the next fucking period or something.
Yeah.
So I hear it's the bell rings. I'm in the bathroom, right? I hear that this history teacher is using you as an excuse, trying to say that you're not gonna make music. And then what I also hear is that he's watching my very first music video called Rusty Cage. And so with my music videos, I like to act as well, right? So I just like to act in general. So with my music videos, with this specific music video, I had my shirt off. I had my shirt off in this specific music video. Right. So I heard that he was watching this video in front of the class, which is kind of weird. So I'm all I have blood on me. I had makeup looking like I got beat up. So it's like a whole scene. It looks like a whole scene. So he's watching this in front of the school, in front of this classroom. I'm all thinking what? Why would you even you can watch it on your own time. I don't even care.
Right, why is he pulling it up in class?
In class, on your whole Elmo, it doesn't even make sense. So I had his class in the mornings. So I'm being told before school that this is happening, and I had his class right before. So I walk into me and my friend, or me and my cameraman that makes my music videos. We both walk in to the same class because he had the same class. We sit by each other and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it was such a sign, the universe wanted me to call him out, but he was instantly talking about music. I don't know what he was, because it's history. It's not a music class, it's history. So he was supposed to talk about US stuff, but he was specifically talking about if his students made music. So it felt kind of weird, not even gonna lie.
Right.
And he said, I like hip hop. He was kind of specifically pointing at hip hop. It could have been anything else, singing or anything. But I'm not gonna say he's racist because it doesn't matter. It's just a genre. But he was specifically pointing at hip hop, which I'm known for doing. So he's I like hip hop. I listen to Eminem. Blah blah blah. I actually know of people who make music in the school. So he's already taking shots while I'm in the classroom.
Yeah. So
I'm not gonna burst out say blah blah blah, you did this, but I raised my hand just I was supposed to ask a question. So I raised my hand. He said, Isaiah. I said, so what about your students that make the music? And then he says, what do you mean? I'm so do you like your students that make the music? He's like, yeah, I see your music all the time. I see it everywhere. People are always telling me about it. So I knew he was going to say that. I knew he was going to say that. He's like, yeah, I watch it all the time. Watch it in my classes. I hear about it all the time, blah, blah, blah. I'm so why are you using me as an example? Saying that if you don't attend the class, that you're gonna end up trying making music. And then he's all quiet. The class is all quiet because this is in front of my classroom.
Yeah.
So everybody's quiet. He's all quiet. He's like, I never said that. I never said that. I'm you did. I have several people coming up to me saying that you said it. I just don't understand why you have to use me as an excuse. It doesn't even matter. I don't really think teachers are there to use other students as an excuse to make them feel bad. That's just what it does. It makes students feel bad. So it doesn't even it's not even a part of teaching. Like you're there to teach and help the students, not make them feel bad. And
Yeah,
that's why I see
exactly.
it as it's just making it feel bad. So I just call him out instantly and say, oh, that's my Siri. So yeah, that's my Siri.
You're
Anyways,
good.
so I call him out and I'm like, yeah, so you did this, blah blah blah. He's like, I may have he confesses I may have said it last year. Last year I didn't have his class, so it probably made sense if he did say it, but still why? I didn't
Right.
understand why. I'm like, okay, you said it, but still why? I don't understand. He said because you need to go to class. I was like, I don't need to go to class. Like what my plans are for the future, I don't need this stuff. It's cool to don't get me wrong. So it is cool to know math. It's cool to know science. I actually love science. I'm not gonna lie, I love science. And I actually love a little bit of math. It's cool to learn extra stuff, but
Yeah.
the way that they're teaching kids is just not fair to the kids.
Oh,
That's my like.
not at all. It's I think the system in the education system, it's I think there's better ways that they could do it, right? Go about it. And the way they do it, it works to an extent, but it also there's a lot of people that can't they don't learn in that type of institution. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like I'm just trying to think about it because at some point people do blame. I do understand that kids can be hard to teach, and like teaching for 17 years that could be stressful.
Right.
But like if you don't want to teach, then why teach? Like
Yeah.
I I care for the teachers, like why teach? But like if you're gonna take personal shots about what I'm doing because Mr. Brower didn't know what I was doing. He
Right.
didn't know if I was sick. He didn't know if I had this. He didn't know what I was doing. But it was clear that I was ditching to make music. That's what I originally wanted to do. Is what I wanted to
Yeah.
make music. I was doing what I love. I do understand that you do need to go to school, but at some point in time, they don't ever ask how is the kid doing. They really don't think about it. They really don't ask how is the
Th-
kid doing.
th-
Is this
they base on how he's doing based on his grades, and when he's not doing good,
exactly?
they just scold him, right? They're like, "Hey, you got to do better grades. Like you got to get your grades up, basically." You know. So one thing with with like the whole education system that I wish they would try to implement more is I wish they'd implement more on helping students figure out what they want to do and actually pursue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and what I hear people want for more from the education system is like helping like with real life situations because math does help you like count money. Like, say you have to work at a grocery store. I'm working at McDonald's right now. I count money all the time. So
Yeah.
thank God for math and that, you know. But like, say something. I bet yeah, this like schools to help you learn how to pay taxes and stuff. But like, there's a lot more than just that. Like, I wish like some people say like it needs to be like how to save up, how to like do this, how to do that, how to save up. More like to adult stuff. That's what college is for, yeah. But
Right.
like it would still be helpful to learn that in high school because we're learning how to cook in high school. But why aren't we learning how to do other stuff like pay taxes in high school or
Right.
like it's just crazy. But like I mean at this point, yeah, people I can't speak for everyone to say that not everybody is unhappy with the school system because people do want to be doctors, people do want to like
like
work for like
tip,
NASA.
typical school related like careers,
Yeah, so
which we do
they don't
need,
have a
but
choice. Yeah, I can agree. We do need them, so they don't have a choice. But for someone like me that really doesn't like really had like put up with it for a long time and doesn't really want to do it no more, and already decided like what he wants to do, like I already decided I don't really want to give up on my career at all because at this point I have failed my classes. I have failed my classes, a lot of my classes from high school.
yeah,
So at this point, I feel like I would be stuck if I even gave up on music anyway. So I would have nothing at all. But honestly, that isn't the case. I can still get my GED. I can still do a whole bunch of stuff. But at this point, I would feel like I would let myself down if I just listen to my teacher and say, "You don't need to be doing music. You can just be doing this, doing that. You can be a science teacher. You can be working for NASA. You can be a doctor. You can do this." But I don't want to. I
exactly,
want to be what I originally wanted to be. Is I wanted to be a creator that is also my own boss. I wanted to create something that people are just gonna like love or wear or listen to or watch. Like I just want to be a creator. That's what I wanted to be. And like say, hey, that right there, that's VOTUKINGEZ. That he did that, blah blah blah. You're not gonna get that stuff from being a language arts teacher. Like, sorry, but you're not gonna get much respect being a teacher, period, because kids are just not nice. I
Right.
can say kids are just not nice.
You want to do bigger things than what the traditional things to
Yeah,
do
what?
are, right? And
Yeah,
uh,
what common things are. Yeah.
yeah, and well, one thing kind of back in my high school, like my financial ed teacher, I remember I even asked her, I was like, "Hey, are you gonna teach us how to do taxes?" And she was like, "Yeah, we'll be covering that." She never did. We never learned how to do, like she said she would. We never learned that. And like, and honestly, like school's important, but I do think people shouldn't let other people tell them not to pursue their dreams. You know, if they do, I think you should use that negativity to fuel you to keep going even harder. You know, and try and
Exactly.
I've talked with other people before, and is a common saying: success is the greatest form of revenge.
Yes,
You
that's
know?
what I love that saying, honestly. And
Yeah.
that's honestly what the song and music video 84501 is about, because I literally took the biggest dump on my town in that song. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I said some crazy shit on that song, and I have people come in my job at McDonald's and say, "Yo, I love that song you made about Brower. I loved how you used his sample. I love how you did this about the town." Like, they honestly love me dissing the town, because other people don't like the town. They really don't support that stuff. So that's
Right.
kind of what I see success as the best revenge, just me really dissing my teacher.
Yeah, no, that's sick. It must be interesting for people to be listening to you and then be like, "Yo, bro, like I like that," you know, because
Yeah,
it
it's
could.
weird because people really didn't support it at the beginning, and then next thing you know, 2 years later they are like they just like really like it.
Yeah, yeah, and you know that kind of appraisal. I love getting appraisal like that, right? It feels really good, but I
Yeah,
you know try. It really does take a lot to try to teach yourself not to let it get to your head. You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, say you reach your first 1,000 views or something like that, walking into the mall, acting like everybody's gonna like come up to you. That's kind of what I am afraid of. Is really what I would like to say. Like, I don't want to. I do study, like, say if I were to get, like, I don't even want to say if I was, like, when I do get famous, like, I don't want to let, like, for example, the paparazzi bother me to the point where I actually have to get physical with them, and I don't want to do
Right.
that. I won't. Like, I just won't even let it bother me. Or when I get my very first, like, heated song and then people love it, and then I let it get to my head, and then I like cut off all my friends. I don't even want that at this point. To be honest, I want to walk into, like, the top area. That's why I like to call it, is the top. I want to walk into the top, kind of by myself, and then so I don't have to do that to my friends or do that to my close ones, like, because that's what I'm scared of. I just want to take care of my friends or take care of my parents. That's what,
Yeah.
honestly, why another reason why I do this whole thing. Really,
Right.
I mean, why? Who else
It
doesn't do
Yeah,
that?
exactly. And I totally get that. Like, kind of, I've thought about that a lot. Like, I like to say when, you know, like
Yeah,
when my podcast takes off, when I can get really big, I would love to just be absolutely extremely huge and well known, but also I wouldn't like the paparazzi always following me around. And the thing is, like, I want to be at a spot where I can support my whole family if I wanted to.
exactly.
I don't gotta worry about paparazzi following me, people constantly swarming me, running up, right? Which I don't think that'll happen. I feel like there's certain industry careers that when you get to a certain level like that, people don't really do that unless you're like a famous actor or something. You know, like if
Yeah,
you look at like No Jumper, Joe Rogan. You know,
yeah,
you
that's
don't really
true.
see
You don't.
paparazzi constantly following them and stuff like that. But that's like kind of how I want it. You know, and the times you do
Yeah,
get recognized is when you're going to special events for stuff related to what you're going
yeah,
towards. You know, and
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's definitely it is something interesting to think about before it actually happens. You know, you're like, all right, how am I gonna handle this if this does come up and whatnot.
Exactly. Well, like, so even when I do get recognized a little bit now, like, I honestly look at it as like, thank you for like even taking the time to even listen. Like, you took, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes to listen to my song. That's a thing. Like, I thank you. Like, you don't even need to come up to me and say it's cool, because I didn't expect anybody to listen to it in the first place.
Right.
Like, to be honest. So I just like to think like even if I'm big, I'm thankful for any number that I would get because they're taking the time to even support me. And I'm nothing different than just a regular. I'm not there's nothing different than you, nothing different than anybody who wants to listen to my music. I'm nothing different. I'm filled with blood. I'm filled with like love and so, like all of that stuff. I'm filled with feelings and too. Like shit, I'm nothing different than
Right.
any average human being. So like you shouldn't have to treat me any differently. You
Right,
know?
and that's how we should look at like everybody really, even like those biggest hip hop stars, actors,
Mm-hmm.
whoever, they're just human, just like us. People will glorify and idolize them so much, like they make them like as if they're gods. You know what I mean? And it's like they're
Exactly.
just normal people who just happen to be well known and have money. It's like that's the
Yeah,
only
yeah, yeah.
difference really, and it's unfortunate because what fame can do to some people. We've seen it a lot with especially young actors, young music artists that just suddenly blow up. It can ruin their life if they're not trained, if they're not educated properly on how
If you're not
to
careful.
on how to handle it, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the steps to take to avoid screwing yourself over. So it's definitely something that I think about quite often. Is if say when one day if I just blow up, it's like, all right, how am I gonna handle that? How am I gonna kind of maintain that,
Exactly.
handle it, and not let it get to my head? Make sure I handle it responsibly and humbly. I think that's the
Yeah.
most important thing in that sense.
Yeah, that's
But
what I think too.
but yeah,
Like even yeah, sorry, but even if like 'cause sometimes I would have like kind of like an act, like a persona. So
yeah,
persona like supporting and loving myself is what I would always do. That's kind of like my persona. And saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be the biggest. I'm gonna be the best." Blah blah blah. It's just what I want to say for myself because that's what I believe.
yeah,
It's not me being cocky. It's not being me being rude. It's not me being unhumble in any way because I already know I'm not even that big yet. So if I'm doing it now, I can honestly, I feel like I can train myself to do it back then and say, oh, well, I'm still humble, but I still love myself. It doesn't matter what anybody says.
yeah, exactly. And that's the best way to that's the best outlook to have on it. Having that kind of outlook, you'll definitely go farther than a lot of others when others don't have that kind of outlook, and they let everything go to their head, and they absorb the attention and just whatever they
Yeah,
can.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's super cool. That how old did you say you were?
I'm 17.
17. For someone being 17, you sound very wise, intelligent, and so
Yeah,
it's super cool to be able to just sit down, have a conversation with you, which we're actually nearing the time here to start wrapping up.
yeah,
So it's been awesome having you on, man. I know we've kind of been back and forth on trying to schedule this, but
yeah, yeah. That's true. I've been busy. Actually, to be honest, I had to reschedule my after party like so many, like three times. My
I
third time
I
rescheduling it.
yeah,
So
I think I remember the first time that you had it scheduled and everything, but yeah, that's sick, man. Do you have any last words you want to say before we wrap up?
81 Club is just gonna come up. See my vote to. I don't know. That's what I like to
Hey,
say, but
go check
they're
that out.
they're
I'm actually gonna once that drops, I'm gonna link that in the description below on this podcast if you guys want to check that out. Where can they find you on social media?
just at VOTUKINGEZ, VOTUKINGEZ anywhere, literally just VOTU King Easy, just like that.
I'll link all of
Like,
his socials as well if you guys want to check that out.
yeah, I even have my poster too, so
Hey, that's sick. I like that.
yeah,
That's freaking dope.
yeah, I got my poster and stuff.
Uh,
So yeah, I'm all about it.
Alright, and if you guys want to follow me on social media, it's just out at Reese's on Instagram, Facebook. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Or my personal, just Reese Shalvis. I'll link all those in the description as well. I appreciate everyone watching. If you guys enjoyed, why not drop a like, subscribe, and wherever it is you're listening, watching, whether it's morning, the daytime, nighttime. Hope you guys have a good one.
Later.
Peace.